Alright, so here we go. This is the beginning of the 2020 Derby season. This will be our first Derby car we are claiming. I'm currently in my parents' very large garage, and this is my dad's old 2002 2.4 liter. As you can see, still looks pretty solid and was inspected up until August of last year. But here we go. Petey is what my sister called her. That's what, or him, I guess, from her vantage point. And it is a PT Cruiser. You can see here the wheel's currently off, and as I said, it's kind of crammed into my dad's garage. Just want to show here before I load it up and take it home, as it's now March of 2020, and we got some downtime, so we're looking to kind of load up on a project or two. And just to show you why this one, even though it looks solid, is joining. Look at my camera here. Is joining us. You can see this, he kind of makeshift welded. That right there is in essence the unibody rotted through. You can look here, kind of hard to get the camera with the light, but you can see the frame, in essence what frames these vehicles have here, these newer ones, oops, sorry, is pretty much all rusted out. And this here he just patched together to hold this. Won't pass inspection, no longer really able to be on the road, so we're gonna give him a couple $100 for her, and she's gonna join the crew. So yeah, here we go. The beginning of the 2020 Derby season. You can see a little bit of wear and tear. Once we get her out in the sun, we'll get a video on it, and it's raining right now too. But yeah, here she is, our first vehicle for the 2020 Derby calendar year, a 2002 2.4 liter PT Cruiser. Very nice. Loaded up and ready to go. Here she is, 2002 2.4 liter PT Cruiser. It looks still pretty solid on the outside, but underneath it is a rust bucket of a mess. So here she is, she's loaded up, and we are ready to hit the road. Alright, so here we are the day after we hauled her back to Conneaut Lake, our 2002 PT Cruiser. And I just want to make a quick video kind of showing under the hood. I mean, again, the body's not bad on the outside, but the frame underneath it is a mess. The engine, I mean, not too bad. A little bit of oil kind of seeping around, but again, not too bad. It's just the frame of this vehicle is just shot beyond repair. So that's why she's a part of the 2020 Derby team here. So yeah, just a quick little video here showing in the daylight. And see everything pretty clean inside. My sister had it for probably a good 7 or 8 years, kept it real clean. My dad's had it probably the last 2 or 3 years he's driven it, and a little bit messier, but still pretty clean inside. That, by the way, is blown up sugar. Might be mistaken for something else, but he had a sugar container in there that popped from being in the heat. So yeah, she pretty clean up. This is a different tone here because the hatch was replaced. I'll take this one off and put on, you can see a little messy back here more so. There's a bunch of junk and stuff we had back here. But the hatch I'm gonna try to sell. The old one my dad kept, the window was shattered. So I'll put it on because for the Derby, I mean, it'll be closed and latched, so I don't need anything else. So here she is, she made it. The battery's junk, so we had to coast it down a little hill in here. Once I dropped it off, my wife helped me. And yeah, here she is, 2002 PT Cruiser. Probably leave her sit here for several weeks, start getting a little bit more consistent warm weather. We'll tear apart all the inside and go from there. So car number 1 at least, here she sits. Alright, so it is the end of March 31st, 2020. We are going to dive a little bit in here to the motor to try to get out this old motor, or battery rather, which you can see here beside the motor is so tucked in this little PT Cruiser, and we're going to try to get the Derby battery we'd used, which should still be good. It was in storage here in our garage during the winter. So I'm going to try to hook this up, or hook it up in here rather. We're going to take out this. We're going to remove the whole air kind of filter unit here, which we don't need. We're going to take it off here, and we'll cut it here and mask it. Don't want to mess with that sensor unless we need to, and we'll do that like we did with our prior Derby cars. So for now, I'm just going to take this off. All that extra we'll take off. This here, I'm just going to kind of lift up and out and unhook the battery so that we can set the big Derby battery in here and hook it up to see if we can move the car, because from all the rain here, you can see we're not really sitting on solid ground. We're sitting just off the stone, and even though this isn't a super heavy car, this car's probably over 3,000 pounds. There's HUD, he's out here helping me. We're gonna see if the battery fires the motor up good and everything runs, because we're able to run it briefly with this, but then it wouldn't restart, but I think it's because the battery is total junk. So here we go. We're gonna start tinkering a little bit and get to it.
Radiator right here.
Yeah, there's our radiator. We're gonna try to keep that when we get to the Derby in one piece. So here we go. We're gonna start tinkering.
Petey.
Yeah, old Petey as she was called. So she is alive. She's alive and runs with the old Derby battery, so that's a good sign. Alright, so we successfully got the old battery sitting there out, as well as the air filter and kind of all that extra plastic. That was simple. The battery, these bolts are so rusted out, I couldn't even get all of them out. I kind of had to rig it with screwdrivers to pop it out. But I just wanted to get the Derby battery in there and hook it up to make sure that we had a good running motor, and we do. So we're all good there. Again, the wires and all that will run inside, so I just wanted to make sure that she would fire up. That sitting there right now is irrelevant, doesn't matter. But yeah, fired up. Just pop this off. Just put an old net on there just to make sure nothing gets sucked in here while I'm kind of moving around and I had the motor running there. And we'll do something similar. Might cut it back a little bit more. Might actually leave it just like that for the Derby. So she runs. I was able to get her backed up onto a little bit more solid ground. You can see I was sinking in the yard here. Our yard is just mush from all this rain here as we're in March and about to hit April. So we're good to go. Next, what we're going to do is start tearing out the plastic here, as we're now in April. Get everything tore out so that whenever it comes around to garbage day, we can get rid of all of our stuff. Try to sell like all the stuff we can. The headlights, front and rear hatch is good. I mean, the mirrors, everything's good. It's just the motor's on its last leg, and the frame is DOA, dead on arrival. It is not fit for the road, but she's fit for a Derby. So successful day here, just getting the motor fired up and getting her moved. We're good to go.